All right, Chase Lehocky here with the Blue Futon doing a Steelbook Tuesday for the month of July. I think it's a total of 10 of them. Holy poop, that's a lot of them. I don't see me having this many in quite some time. A lot of these are older, and I got them during the Amazon Prime event. So let's just start off with one I already opened. Fantastic Four, good lord. Final Destination, Bloodlines. Why I did this, because my mom really wanted to watch it, so I put the digital code on Vudu. But the Steelbook itself isn't bad. I mean, it's very simplistic. I mean, nothing really on the back, let's be honest. The front is basically the skull from the original poster, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not bad, but it's kind of boring, let's be honest, kind of boring. And so we have the Dolby Atmos disc for the 4K disc, and then we also have the DVD, the Blu-ray disc right there. And the thing is the big needle explosion from the first premonition, or basically the premonition for this film. So yeah, I like this film a lot. It's crazy, non-stop fun. But the Steelbook itself is kind of boring, and you'd be lying to say if it isn't. All right, let's start with some older stuff. We got Smile 2. This didn't do as well as the box office as the first one. I think the first one was one of those rare, just like movies that they didn't think would do that good, but did pretty damn bonkers. This one, I liked the movie a lot, except the ending. I think they could have shown a little bit more, but they, wanted the suspension of disbelief of like the audiences reacting. But paper itself, kind of thin compared to Final Destination. But on the front, we have Jack Nicholson's son, kind of doing the smile. So it is very, very creepy. On the back, we have it says, it's the last thing you'll see in blood. And it looks like if you open this sucker up, it is is it spine match? Yes, it is. It's a spine matching Steelbook. And you know that I am a sucker for that. Of course, you get the digital code, and looks like something else. Smile 2, Paramount does do a lot of the black discs, so that is very simplistic. And then also with the Blu-ray discs, they do keep it blue. So again, nothing fancy as well for the discs. On the interior, you get a big smiley. Look at that. Smile for the camera. So there we go for Smile 2. For Smile 2 versus Final Destination Bloodlines, Smile 2 Steelbook does look better because it has more things to it. So let's do a next older one. And an older one would be, actually, Snowpiercer. Why not? So this is one that actually sold out, and this is quote-unquote like new, but it's in the plastic, and the like new was like it was still cheaper, like $26, and then Amazon had a coupon for like $4.28 off, so I said, okay, I'll do it, and now it's like sold out, so I think I did a good opportunity that I did it. Anyway, just like all Lionsgates, they do a fantastic job with the slipcover that matches the Steelbook. And the Steelbooks are always just amazing, as you could already tell. The front cover, we have Jamie Bell and Chris Evans, and it has like almost a comic book look to it. It is glossy. It has some fantastic, colors to it. It's all around the spectrum. We got some blues, blacks, yellows, grays, oranges through and throughout. And on the back, it looks like we have a bunch of actors. It looks like, if I remember correctly, I don't remember all the actors in this movie real quick. So on the back cover, it looks like, I know it's like Toni Collette for sure. Olivia Spencer, Tilda Swinton, that's Tilda Swinton, sorry. Ed Harris, John Hurt, and plenty others. Song Kang-ho as well is also on the back cover. And of course, you got to open this sucker up to realize, what do you know? It's a matching one. So I'm sorry, Smile 2, you have been beaten by Snowpiercer. Of course, digital code, you always get that. So it's a 3-discer. So the first disc, of course, is right there. That's the 4K disc of what it looks like. The Blu-ray disc is the same. Oh, good God. Well, it landed on the right side, but it's brown, as you can tell right there. And then the bonus disc, it looks like it's something almost from... No, it's new. You can tell because it kind of matches, but that's what the bonus disc looks like. Probably a lot more special features. And, of course, the interior is the exterior of the train. So there's that. So I'd never watched the TV show, So you guys got to let me know if the TV show is worth watching, but I'm not the biggest TV person. Like, I would rather just watch the movie for 2 hours and be done with it, the story. Sometimes I just don't want to be invested in an 8 hours, like, like, okay, what's happening? Oh, and that's what happened. So, yeah, I'm a lot more of a movie person, as you could tell. There's 2 more older ones. Let's do Jaws 3. This has Dennis Quaid in it. These have been pretty expensive. This one and Jaws 4 Revenge are very expensive. And of course, I waited for this to go on sale for the Prime sale. So that's how I got this one. With thick paper. Thick paper, Universal always does it. And this is very much a matte one. I mean, very matte. Not a lot of shines, but as you can tell, the shark teeth right there. And we're looking at the boat and the lady in the water saying, no! And on the back cover, it looks like something from SeaWorld. Because I'm guilty. I have not seen Jaws 3, so I have no idea how good or bad this movie is. And I've heard it's pretty bad. But anyway, that's what it looks like on that side. Of course, you do get the digital code. For the interior, we have, that's what the first disc looks like. As you can tell, that is the 4K disc. And then it looks like, if I had to take a guess, this might be like an old school Blu-ray disc. Like, we can see if they just like reused them. Because it does kind of look, no, it's Dolby Audio, so they did do some transformations or transfer quality, and there's that. And of course, we have the orca whale on this one. So this is like sharks versus orcas, maybe? I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen Jaws 3, and one of these days I will. Unless something happens to me, which hopefully it doesn't, because I want to live until like I'm 172, even though that's not possible. Well, they were in the Bible, but we're not in the Bible times. Anyway, next one we have is Bad Boys Ride or Die. Another one that's been on the wish list for quite some time. All new post-credits scene. Interesting. I think the Bad Boys series might be done for. I think it is after the Will Smith slap. But also the rumor is Will Smith's doing another movie with Michael Bay, so we'll see how that actually goes. Martin Lawrence did a comedy thing as well. But anyway, not bad paper for Sony. Very much Miami colors. Purple, blues. Yeah, the brightness of it. Of course, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith on the front. And this one is very more glossy. Of course, Bad Boys Ride or Die gets the blue. And this we have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence fist pumping. But it kind of looks like fake-ish. But there you have it again, kind of like the front cover. Very poppy, Miami bright colors. And that is what you have for the exterior. Of course, digital code. It's the 4K disc is the crocodile or alligator, whatever you want to say it. And you'll know that from the very end of the movie, the climax of the film. And the Blu-ray, of course, is Martin Lawrence and Will Smith doing their iconic pose. And of course, you have Will Smith's car as well as Martin Lawrence and Will Smith probably bantering, because that is the huge thing about this movie. A lot of bantering between the characters. All right, so that's a lot of the older ones. So let's get to some of the new ones that did come out. And so we have decent amount of new ones actually, but let's go with In a Violent Nature. So this is one that, again, like I said, it takes some time for some of these movies to get 4K releases. And it does kind of bother me. Like, just release them all at once. Don't have people buy the Blu-ray and then like 2 months later they're like, haha, we're going to release the 4K version. It's like, you. Anyway, so this one is a lot more glossier. This is the main killer's mask, who doesn't talk a single time. And there's a sticker right here about the 4K part. The back, it does have the little paper scene is a little stuck. But let's see what it looks like. It's basically, let's see if I can just do a twist. Keep it on. Oh, it's coming off. All right, and there we have the back of the killer. In this one, this is a straight up gore fest. So, yeah, when the girl just gets her body just destroyed is wild. Anyway, you have something from AMC. This is what the 4K disc looks like right there. And the regular Blu-ray, you could tell, is a copy from the other one, because that's what the front cover looked like. And the interior, you could barely tell what is going on. I mean, it's like a tree, but like you said, it's hard to tell what's going on. So overall, not a bad Steelbook whatsoever. Like I said, I'm getting Late Night with the Devil is the next one from Shudder. So like I said, I'm not going to be complaining about more 4K releases, but at least release them at the same time. Like, right? Don't screw over the customer like that bad. You know what I mean? Like, do you really have to do that? All right, next one. Let's do Small Soldiers. So I remember seeing this in theaters. Like, how crazy and bonkers and fun this movie was. Like, this was like a childhood just memory. This is a childhood memory being unlocked for sure, about just what I experienced going to the dollar theater, because that's all we did growing up, because we were really growing up all that rich, and it was all the dollar theater. The only time we didn't do the dollar theater was one of my birthday gifts, and I wanted to see Armageddon. I do remember that, in Star Wars Phantom Menace. But anyway, front cover is blue and red. Of course, you have the Small Soldiers right there. It's a nice glossy steelbook. It is a nice, fun-looking one. And on the back, it is looks like the chip that made Small Soldiers actually come to life. And then when we open this sucker up, that is what we get. So it doesn't match, but at least it has the same color scheme. Like I said, with Paramount, you get the black disc for the 4K release, and then you get the blue disc for the Blu-ray. And then when we look at this, it looks like it is the interior of the dolls. Tommy Lee Jones is the voice of Chip Hazard. So, of course, there you have the two dolls with the chips coming to life on the interior of this Steelbook. Small Soldiers, there you go. And we are down to 3: Jurassic Park, Thunderbolts, as well as Sinners. And, of course, let's go with Thunderbolts. That's actually on top. Even though Disney isn't doing a lot of, feels like they're not doing a lot of Steelbooks, but when they do, they're very freaking expensive. So, I just feel like they don't want to do digital media anymore. They're only kind of doing this for the here and there. It's like they're like, I don't want to do this, but here you go. But anyway, so the Steelbook itself, though, is fun. You can tell it's glossy and matte at the same time. You can kind of tell, you can even feel the difference. So, of course, each person has a weapon of who each character is. And I actually really did enjoy this film overall. And on the back, of course, you get the asterisk of the new Avengers, and that's who they are. Are they going to be the new Avengers going forward? Probably not. Let's be honest with ourselves. So, of course, you get the digital code. And for the discs themselves, Thunderbolts, the new Avengers, this is what it's right there for the 4K disc looks like. Of course, you get that Thunderbolt symbol. And then the Blu-ray disc, you get nuts and bolts. Not nuts and bolts, a screw and a bolt, you freaking idiot. Anyway, the front is the main poster that did come out with all of them kind of fighting, except Florence Pugh being like, what are we doing with our lives? What are we doing with our lives? So, there's another Steelbook. Sorry, I just burped again. I had some Mickey D's for dinner tonight because I saw 2 movies and I just didn't want to come home with dishes. All right, let's do the Jurassic Park. So I wasn't going to get this until I saw it was newly remastered in Dolby Vision Atmos. So I said, okay, at least you're going to do that. Yes. Are you going to get rid of the Blu-ray discs? I think I'm willing to say, okay, I'll get rid of the old ones and replace this one because Dolby Atmos does make a huge freaking difference. So you do have thick paperwork. That's pretty good. So the front cover, you did get the embroiderment of the Jurassic Park symbol right there. And it is a great, I won't lie, it is a fantastic front-looking Steelbook. And of course, the back, you gotta go the iconic house. It might be a little simplistic, but I think simplicity is better with this one, and that's what it looks like. So you could kind of say it is a matching spine. All right, so of course you have this. So it looks like they kept the same look, but they, of course, remastered in Dolby Vision Atmos. That's the original one. Then you have Lost World Jurassic Park, which that is this one right here. And then you have Jurassic Park 3, which is right here. And of course, you have collage of all the characters from each 3 films. And little did you know, I'll probably get the last 3 Jurassic World Trilogy one. Because, just a fun fact, the only one that did have Dolby Vision and Atmos was the 3rd one, Dominion. But I do think the 4th one is a very serviceable film. The 5th one is atrocious. Maybe I'm one of the few people that think that the 5th one is the worst one. And that's weird because I love the director, what he does. So it's very awkward. Okay, the last one is going to be Sinners. I'm going to tell you all straight up. This is kind of a big middle finger Not to like people, but to people for calling me racist, for giving this movie 8 out of 10, for just calling me names, for like me not liking 40 Acres and then saying, oh, your shitty review must mean this is going to be a shitty review ever. But then I was like, yo, I'm going to at least help this movie, even though it probably doesn't need more help to get the, digital copy or even the physical, or physical media. How many people call me racist or like don't put their money where their mouth is? It's like, do you not see how many movies I own? Like I own over like 2,000, 3,000 movies, okay? Because each of these is 30 times, that's 90, and there's 8 shelves. Time that by 7, and plus it stops at S's, and T through Z's are all on this back wall without a shelf. So go kick rocks. Anyway, thick right there. The Steelbook itself, so you have Michael B. Jordan, and Sinners is embroiled, so it's indented if you want to put it that way, and that's what it looks like. And of course, that's the barn doors, where the Asian girls like let them in, and you're just like, what are you doing, Asian chick? There is no like rhyme or reason for you to say that, because there has been no evidence of them going into town and getting these people. Anyway, I thought that was a huge plot point, mess up my opinion. So that's what the back looks like. It's probably the barn doors as well. So as you could tell, it's not a bad Steelbook, but kind of wanting a little bit more. But of course, you get the digital code. The 4K disc is Dolby Vision and HDR, and that is, it's the guitar. It's the guitar. Kind of interesting that it's not like as prominent as it wants to look. Like, it kind of is like a cheap look to it. I don't know. Is it just me, or does that kind of look kind of cheap? Anyway, in the front cover is Michael B. Jordan ×2 as the twins with the car in the background. So those are the Steelbooks for the month of July. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing for your first time. If you're like, yo, you suck at this, thanks for at least sticking with me. Chase Lock here at the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Alex Futontopia. You Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I don't care if you watch this today, tomorrow, a week from, a month, a year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. Peace and love, and to stay safe and frosty out there.